The world of business has changed forever. Part 2. 5 keys to dealing with the 5 excesses. In Part 1 we saw that digital Darwinism is killing off many businesses that failed to adapt to the twin waves of change resulting from the new industrial revolution. Most advice to deal with the challenges is stale, rearview mirror, and fails to address the human impact of technological change. Almost all business advice focuses solely on technology, not on the people using it, and not on how your buyers have changed as people. Their lives, your life, and my life have already been radically changed by what I'm calling the 5 excesses. Excess information, excess competition, excess choices, excess insecurity, and excess stress. Which we can summarise in one word: overload. We need to radically rethink business development to cope with these excesses. The essence of the 21st century business development koan is: how do you do business with overloaded clients? 20th century traditional ways of marketing and sales just exacerbate the problem. Interrupt them, hassle them, carpet bomb them with information, manipulate them, pressure them, sell to them, give them too many choices, do long software demos, be in it just to make money and for your ego, lack integrity. Have each department in your value chain remunerated in different ways. The product department remunerated for just making stuff, the marketing department for hyping it, sales for closing, etc. Sadly, all of these approaches that I'm calling 20th century are far too common, much of which still persists, oftentimes dressed in new clothes. In order to understand the issues we need to address, let's examine the impact of those 5 excesses on your buyers and on you. The first excess: information. Your buyers are flooded, they're snowed under, their cups are full. What problem does that lead to for you? Getting attention, conveying information. The second excess is competition. For the buyer, it's very hard to see the best. If you've got lots of people knocking in your door, telling you they're the best, how do you know? Your problem, resulting from excess competition, is how do you win in those circumstances? The third excess is excess choices. We all have too many choices these days. This leads to decision fatigue and sales resistance. Decision fatigue I see increasingly in restaurants. You go to the restaurant with people. If it's a big menu, people open it, flick through from front to back, from back to front, and just look a bit confused. Sales resistance is that we're just so persistently sold to that our shutters come up very quickly. So your challenge with this is getting action. How do you get action when people are overwhelmed with choice? The fourth excess is insecurity, especially in large corporations where there can be quite a lot of fear over job losses. The main concern of your buyer is avoiding mistakes. His subsidiary concern perhaps is appearing busy, which can also make things very complicated. The problem that arises for you in those circumstances, if you're dealing with large corporates, large organisations or the government, is that it can then be an incredibly long sales cycle. The fifth excess is stress. We're all stressed in the modern world. We're all suffering from flight or fright or freeze. How do you sell to somebody who's contracted with flight, fright, freeze and fear? They don't want to do anything. Just think of it yourself. When you're all negative, do you really want to get out and change the world? As somebody selling into organisations, you want to make change. It's very challenging. There are 5 21st century business development keys that I've developed to address these 5 excesses. The first I'm calling Zen Down. Simplicity, clarity, and brevity are of the essence. The second is what I'm calling dating. Too much of this old think 20th century is about pushing your stuff onto people. You need to adopt the attitude, however, that you're looking for a match, you're looking for a partner, you're looking for a wife or a husband. You're not trying to force people into things. The third key is speed and adaptability. I hope this is obvious. Many people acknowledge it. But few organisations are really organised in a way that enables them to change rapidly, to adapt to new circumstances. This is the most important factor for beating your competition. If they're faster than you, they're going to out-evolve you in a world of rapid change. The fourth principle is purpose. Even the Pope recently was talking about the necessity for purpose in our lives, how 20th century capitalism had gone too far in the direction of everything being just about making money. Survey after survey shows that the millennials, the new entrants into the job market, are really looking for purpose. And here, I don't just mean curing malaria. It might be writing good code, building nice buildings, having a nice design. But there's got to be some purpose. There's got to be something about what you're doing that gets you out of bed other than money. Of course, we all need money to get by, But if all you're doing the entire life is just going out there to making money, you're devoid of purpose, and that will not help. The final ingredient is magic, that there's always something else you can do. There's always some sparkle, there's always some twist. It's not about following rules, it's not about following a dot to dot, but you really want to make it magical. All too often, the efforts that I see people making in business development are prosaic. They're worthy but dull. In the next and final part of this talk, I will give a practical tutorial about how to use these 5 design elements, these 5 keys to 21st century business development, to improve your business.